In the Middle East, violence between Israelis and Palestinians spills over into Jerusalem as gunmen opened fire at a bus stop, killing 6. The 2 gunmen were Palestinians who were shot and killed by an Israeli soldier and citizens who were nearby. 12 others were injured. It marks the deadliest attack on Israeli soil since October of last year, and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu swears vengeance.
Right now, we are pursuing and encircling the villages from which the murderers came. We will reach everyone who helped them, everyone who sent them, and we will take even harsher measures.
Meanwhile, in Gaza, another high-rise goes down this morning. The Israeli military says it has marked buildings for attack due to the presence of Hamas terrorists inside or near it. It has issued evacuation orders. Israel has been targeting high-rise towers in Gaza City as it moves forward with plans to occupy the Strip's largest city. For more, I want to bring in Jonathan Tobin. He is the editor-in-chief of the Jewish News Syndicate. Welcome.
Great to be with you. Thank you.
President Trump has issued what he calls a last warning to Hamas. How significant is this statement in terms of U.S. diplomatic pressure and its potential influence on the negotiations?
Well, it's an excellent statement, and it should be taken to heart by Hamas. The question is it being undermined by the negotiations that have been carried on, both by his own Middle East envoy, Steve Witkoff, and the intermediaries from Qatar? Throughout the last 2 years of this war, Hamas has sought to play one side against the other as it continues to refuse to accept terms that would actually end the war, which is release all the hostages, lay down their arms, end this war in the only way it can end. We'll see whether this threat by Trump has the intended effect, given everything we know about Hamas, which is committed to this war as a religious obligation. It's not just politics for them or a military endeavor. They are committed as a religious obligation to carry on an endless genocidal war against Israel and its people. And they're willing to sacrifice all of the people of Gaza in order to keep carrying on this war. So, you know, the normal kinds of pressure that statesmen, whether people from whatever side you like, or President Trump, that could enforce on parties in a dispute, don't have the same effect on a party such as Hamas, which does not operate with the same sort of values and the same sort of objectives that normal states and normal parties to a conflict would engage in.
Israel has endorsed the U.S.-backed proposal, but Hamas is demanding an end to the war and a full withdrawal of Israeli forces. How far apart are the two sides, and what does that mean for the fate of the hostages?
Well, if indeed the two positions are that, that Hamas says Israel must get out of Gaza, and we go back to October 6, 2023, in which Hamas rules Gaza as an independent Palestinian terrorist state, no, that is not something Israel will ever live with. That's not something that President Trump says he can live with. So yes, then they are very far apart. The question of the hostages, the truth is, Israel would accept a great deal if only all of the hostages and the bodies of the hostages that were murdered, that are still being held by Hamas, were to be released. But again, everything we know about Hamas tells us they'll never release all of the hostages. They are their trump card. They're their get out of jail free card that they're holding on to. They will hold on to them indefinitely. And if anyone thinks that they will do this just for anything short of being handed a victory in the war that they started with unspeakable atrocities 2 years ago, I think they're dreaming.
Quickly, in a rare ruling, the Israeli Supreme Court says Israel deprives Palestinian prisoners of food. How much weight does the decision carry?
Well, I think some of the headlines which are saying, the Israeli Supreme Court says Israel shouldn't starve Palestinians, and that's being interpreted as somehow backing up the blood libel that Israel is starving people in Gaza. The dispute here is between the minister in charge of the prisons, Itamar Ben-Gvir, who is certainly on the far right of Israeli politics, who has said that the Palestinian prisoners, many if not most of whom are in prison because of their engagement in the atrocities of October 7th, that they're only entitled to what he says, what the law requires, The court says, no, they're required to more than that, 3 square meals. And it's not clear to anyone what exactly the difference between Ben Gvir's idea of 3 square meals and the court's idea of 3 square meals. I think this is one of these ongoing disputes between the government and the left-leaning Israeli Supreme Court that sometimes is more about politics than actually the details of the case.
We'll continue to watch all of the developments. Jonathan Tobin, thank you so much.
Thank you.